It was a rainy evening when Emma, now in her early 30s, decided to explore the attic of her childhood home, a place she had avoided for decades. The air was thick with dust, and the scent of aged wood mixed with the faint smell of old books and forgotten memories. As she climbed the creaking stairs, she recalled the stories her mother had told her, tales of bravery, loss, and resilience, but always carefully leaving out certain details, as if some truths were too heavy to bear. Emma's eyes scanned the cluttered space, old trunks, faded photographs, and boxes labeled in her mother's neat handwriting. Among them, a small, yellowed envelope slipped behind a loose brick in the wall caught her attention. It was sealed with faded wax and bore no name, only the inscription, "For the eyes of the one I loved, when the time is right." Her heart skipped a beat. Who had written it, and why had it remained hidden for 30 long years? With trembling hands, she carefully broke the seal, revealing a letter written in elegant, looping handwriting that seemed to carry the weight of decades. As she unfolded it, memories of her mother flooded back, the quiet strength in her eyes, the hidden sadness behind her smile, and the rare laughter that always seemed tinged with a hint of sorrow. The letter began with words of love, recalling nights spent under starlit skies, secret rendezvous in hidden corners of the city, and whispered promises that had been exchanged when the world was unaware of their existence. Emma's eyes widened as she read about a man named Daniel, a name her mother had never spoken aloud. The letter recounted how they had fallen in love passionately but had been torn apart by circumstances beyond their control. Daniel had been forced to leave abruptly, leaving her mother heartbroken and alone, yet pregnant with a child he would never meet. Emma's breath caught as the words revealed a truth she had never imagined. She herself was the child mentioned in the letter, a secret her mother had kept to protect her from the complications of the past. The story unfolded further, revealing the challenges her mother had faced. Raising a child alone while maintaining appearances, enduring whispered judgments from neighbors, and quietly mourning a love that could never be publicly acknowledged. Every sentence dripped with emotion, portraying a mother's profound sacrifice and unyielding strength. Emma sank to the floor, clutching the letter to her chest, overwhelmed by a mix of grief, awe, and love. Over the following days, she pieced together the fragments of the past, old photographs hidden in drawers, letters exchanged between her mother and Daniel before he disappeared, and memories whispered by neighbors who had witnessed fleeting moments of that long-ago romance. Each discovery deepened Emma's understanding of her mother's resilience and the magnitude of the choices she had made. The weight of decades of secrecy began to lift, replaced by an appreciation for the sacrifices her mother had endured. When Emma finally approached her mother with the letter, both women were overwhelmed with emotion. Tears streamed down their faces as her mother recounted the story firsthand, revealing the pain of hiding such a vital part of her life and the hope that one day, the truth would be received with love and understanding rather than anger. They spent hours talking, reliving memories, and reconciling the past with the present. The attic, once a place of mystery and fear, transformed into a sanctuary of connection, where the echoes of hidden secrets became threads of shared history and understanding. And though Daniel was gone, his presence lingered in every word, photograph, and memory, a reminder of a love that had endured silently but powerfully, shaping the lives of both mother and daughter in ways Emma was only beginning to understand. As the days passed, Emma and her mother, Margaret, began to unravel the intricate tapestry of their family's hidden past. Margaret shared stories that had been locked away for decades, moments of joy that had to remain private, nights of quiet despair, and the relentless weight of secrecy she had carried for so long. Emma learned how her mother had meticulously crafted a life that shielded her from the truth of her father's existence, all while balancing the demands of a small household, societal expectations, and her own grief. Margaret described how Daniel had written to her for months after his abrupt departure, letters filled with longing, apologies, and promises that circumstances prevented him from fulfilling. Each letter had arrived and been hidden, preserved as fragile remnants of a love that could not survive in the world outside. Emma's heart ached as she realized the extent of her mother's sacrifice, not just for her, but for the memory of a man they both loved in different ways. She imagined her mother, young and alone, writing replies she never sent, crying quietly into pillows, and making choices that would protect Emma from pain she could not yet comprehend. The story deepened when Margaret revealed that Daniel's sudden departure had been prompted by threats from powerful figures who disapproved of their union, a mix of family expectations and societal pressures that forced him to vanish from their lives. Margaret had chosen to keep her pregnancy and Emma's birth a secret, fearing the repercussions for both herself and her child. As Emma listened, tears fell freely, a mixture of sorrow for what had been lost and admiration for the resilience her mother had shown. The attic, once merely a repository of forgotten belongings, became a sacred space where the past and present collided, and where Emma could witness firsthand the life her mother had endured in silence. Over time, Emma began to understand the profound love that had guided every decision, every sacrifice, and every moment of hidden suffering. She realized that the letter was more than a message from the past. It was a testament to enduring love, to the complexity of human choice, and to the courage it takes to protect those we cherish most. As Emma continued to explore the old letters and photographs, she discovered glimpses of Daniel's life after his departure, brief mentions of travel, work, and attempts to find a way back to Margaret, all of which had been thwarted by circumstance. Each revelation added layers to the story, painting a picture of two souls bound by love but separated by forces beyond their control. Emma began to imagine the conversations they might have had, the laughter they would have shared, and the dreams they had once planned together. In the quiet moments, she felt a strange sense of connection to Daniel, as though through the letters and memories, his presence still lingered. The final revelation came when Emma found a hidden envelope tucked behind an old photo frame, a letter Daniel had written the day before he disappeared, addressed to both Margaret and Emma. In it, he expressed his unwavering love, his hopes for Emma's future, and his regret that he could not be there. Reading his words, Emma felt a bittersweet mixture of closure and sorrow, understanding that love had endured even when life had kept them apart. The story concluded with Emma and Margaret embracing in the attic, the weight of 30 years of secrets finally lifted, replaced by a newfound bond and a deep appreciation for the sacrifices that had been made. Together, they decided to preserve the letters, photographs, and memories, not as relics of pain, but as symbols of resilience, love, and the enduring power of truth. Friends and family, once unaware of this hidden chapter, were moved when Emma shared the story, the letter, and the photographs. Tears flowed, hugs were exchanged, and the tale of love, loss, and sacrifice resonated deeply with everyone who heard it. Emma realized that the story was no longer just about her and her mother, it was about the legacy of love, the courage to make hard choices, and the importance of uncovering and honoring the truths of the past. The attic, now a place of reflection and connection, bore witness to the healing of hearts, the bridging of generations, and the validation that some truths, no matter how long hidden, will always find a way to be revealed. In the end, the letter that had remained unseen for 30 years became a beacon of hope, proof that love can endure silently, shaping lives in ways that are invisible yet profound. Margaret and Emma, bound by the revelation, embraced the future with a sense of peace, knowing that the past, with all its pain and beauty, had finally been acknowledged, honored, and transformed into a story that would inspire, heal, and remind others of the enduring power of love and truth. And though Daniel was gone, his memory lived on vividly in every word, every tear, and every embrace, ensuring that the love he and Margaret shared, and the sacrifices made for Emma's happiness, would never be forgotten. The letter, once hidden, had finally fulfilled its purpose, to bridge the years, heal old wounds, and remind them that some truths, no matter how deeply buried, will always find their way home.